for Friday. We start up with Andreas on SMASHDOCS and Plone, and after that is Naoki on microcontrollers and Plone. So make your way up here. After that is Mike Verstappen.
Do we have an adapter for USB-C?
Oh, adapter origami. If you have adapters,
yeah. Okay.
Bring them here.
So my topic today is creating content together. It's about collaborative content creation with a tool called SMASHDOCS. SMASHDOCS is basically the better version of Google Docs for several reasons. It's a web-based collaborative editor. It runs on-premise or in the cloud. It has the notion of intelligent content, intelligent documents. Basically means you have a personalized view on changes, on discussions or questions and so on. It's very easy to integrate because it provides a very clean REST API, so you can basically integrate it through some own Python code or JavaScript code into your own CMS, so it doesn't depend on Plone or some CMS in particular. And it's a commercial subscription-based system. There's a quick screencast showing SMASHDOCS, so with integration in Plone, so you can basically just create a new document. Is it running? Yeah. Okay. You can just create a new document. In this case, I just take an example docx document, upload it into Plone, and send it directly into the editor. So you can edit it, and it will be uploaded into the cloud for SMASHDOCS. And you can just edit similar to Google Docs or like any other web-based editor. So that's nothing special because it just looks like Google Docs. And what you can now do, basically, you can just export the document in different formats in XML, HTML, or PDF, or EPUB, or docx. So in this case, the document is directly re-imported into Plone, and you can basically just display it within Plone, or just takes the PDF document, which is also stored directly in Plone. And this screencast basically shows you two different editors working on the same document at the same time. And you see that basically everyone sees simultaneously all changes, edited, and so on. You can also do some stuff like questions, communication with the editors, and so on. And it's pretty fancy. So the scope is basically professional content editing. So features are, as I said, simultaneous editing of documents. It has also features like tracking of changes. It has the features of doing a chat and discussions about content, sections, and so on, either public or one-to-one. It provides docx import and export. You have HTML export, and provides a similar role model as in Plone with roles like editors, commentators, readers, and approvers. The particular integration with Plone is basically that you have two content types. It provides integration with sharing. Basically, you can assign roles on the Plone level to people working on a document, and you have directly import of the content from SMASHDOCS into Plone on the HTML level. And optionally, you can do export to PDF, EPUB, and docx. That's basically the architecture. On the right side, as I said, it's a cloud-based service. It has a clear REST API, and you can basically attach to SMASHDOCS using some programming languages. I, for myself, basically provided integrations for Python, JavaScript, Node.js, C#, and PHP. Means that the existing SMASHDOCS REST API is wrapped through wrappers into different languages. And what we just saw was basically the production-ready integration with Plone, but I also have a similar integration done with Quadruple. And that's it. Thanks.
I will talk about connecting microcontrollers to Plone. I am Naoki Nakanishi from Tokyo, Japan. I work at CMS Communications, and I like Internet of Things IoT, called IoT. I think some microcontrollers can connect Plone easily because Plone has RESTful API products, and programming microcontroller is easy for us because we can use MicroPython language. I want to make that product to grant these functions. And then finally, I want to make IoT Hub. IoT Hub means the service providing bidirectional communication between microcontrollers, and device management, user interfaces, and so on. MicroPython has many usable modules to connect Plone via RESTful API. For example, request module as called uRequest, JSON parser as uJSON. Of course, basically functions for microcontrollers and peripherals are available, like ZPIO, SPI, I2C, and timer, Wi-Fi, and so on. And MicroPython supports many microcontrollers like this. I will make widgets as user interface first. I will try to make 3 widgets, Z3C form widgets. The widget to show the latest data came from microcontrollers first. And second is show logged data with graph. Third is button to set controllers output simply. Now I have only rough concept, but I want to start to develop this from tomorrow. Thank you.
Very interesting. Next up is Mike Verstappen. After that is Eriko. And after that is, I guess that's Sally. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to use this to just give a quick overview again about the Bob template stuff. There's already an alpha version, and probably after the sprint we will have a little bit more improved version of this. But it's already possible to create packages. That was possible before, but now you can go inside the package and use one of the sub-templates, so you can actually create a content type inside the package. for now there's a warning because it can overwrite, or it will overwrite files, and so you should use that with a clean repository. But you can use it now to create like one or more content types, also a theme, vocabulary is inside. So you got some questions, and it will give you relatively good structure to start. It contains already tests, so also the subtemplates have tests, and we should work on that. I would be really happy if one of you guys join me on the sprint, and even though it's just like a quick view and some pointer to we want to do that like this, or we want to have to like this, so that we have a really good basic for everybody. So another thing is that should be the new way to do it. So you install with pip plone CLI. You have plone CLI -L. It shows you the templates which you have. Also, it shows you the subtemplates of every template. Like for the add-on template, we have already these templates, and then you use the Plone CLI create add-on to create it. Then you go inside the package like we did before. You list the templates. You will just see subtemplates because only there makes sense there, and then you will just say Plone CLI add content type, and so on and so on. I think it's much more usable, and you don't have to Google it how to use it. And one other topic, we are actually planning to organize a German Plone conference, let's say. It's called Plone Tagung. It will be for users and developers in the German Plone community. Of course, the main topic, talks will be in German, but I would be really happy if we have some people from the outside, if they have anything to say. It will happen in March in Berlin at the Humboldt University. So save the date. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Eriko with contentrules.slack.
Okay, almost. But honestly, I am so sorry. Hello, I'm going to talk about 2 add-ons and a service, 3 live demos because live. So if it fails, please be kind. The first 2 plugins, add-ons for Plone, they basically solve our problems, and we decided to take them out from our Plone installation and repackage. Probably they are quite useful for some of you, and the third one is basically the same thing I just talked on my presentation. So first one, content rules, Slack. In here, when I user login, I want to, or any other event, but I user login, I'm going to post to a Slack channel. In here, channel, user login, using the string interpolation that's available since forever for the mail action, and so on. And to make this more interesting, I'm going to sign in with a Google account. Done. Perfect. Okay. And here it is. Posted on Slack. This product is already available. You can add to build out contentrules.slack. Basically, add to any possible content rule you can think of. There are some ideas we can improve on that. Slack is quite flexible. We are basically dealing with one type of attachment instead of dealing with many. The second one, second product we developed to solve in here users. You saw me logging with a Go account, Plone Automatic, Pass Plugin Automatic. I just talked to Jens about adding this feature there, but I just allow domains, people with mails from briefy.co. So if I come here to this browser, I'm logged with my Gmail account. Nothing happens. If save. Okay, logged in. It probably is better to treat this in a different way, but again, it's better to release what you have than just sit and say, okay, I could do it or not. But one last thing. I miss the old days with bunny ears and so on. So this is Tumblr. It's an image server that we use at Briefy because we basically deal with image delivering, cropping in many possible ways. So original image, I want 64 by 64 version. Okay. I want to play a little bit with 800 by 200. And that's not really very smart. It's basically what we do nowadays with imaging, scale in Plone. But this was developed by this major portal in Brazil. They deal with millions of images every day, so it's kind of hard for journalists when they are working to change. Oh, I need to crop this image. So what they do is basically add another parameter saying do it in a smart way, and basically it crops exactly where it's important for you. What was done in here basically happened thanks to in here. Let's see. You see there's a bounding box. It detects the faces in here. If it were not faces, it would look in focal points, get the focal points, and calculate. Really? Oh, God. And then meta, if I want to get again 800 by 200, gets me, basically debugs what it just did. All possible filters, you can basically blur the image, add watermark by default, get image from inside a Plone portal, and so on and so forth. That was it. Thank you.
Just in time.
All right, the moment you've been waiting for. So we had a little glitch. As you know, we lost some pages. However, thanks to a few photographs, we've I've kind of reconstructed the results. This shows you, there's a Google spreadsheet. We'll obviously make this public. Number of nominations, number of votes where we had the pages, number of votes recorded at noon by photographs, number of votes at the end of the day. So I sort of mushed that together and came up with a more or less numeric list of the top. So what's cool is it's pretty clear there were 4 very popular ones. You can see the top 4. There are there are 17 add-ons that got at least 7 votes. So that kind of takes you through the ties for number 10. There wound up being a lot of ties because of all this estimation. So there were 48 add-ons that got at least 1 vote. So cool. We have some numbers. We have some data with which to do some add-on curation. What's going to happen? For the short term, we'll make a page on plone.org that just shows this information, something pretty low-tech. But coming up, and you're going to talk about this, right? There's a Google Summer Code project to actually make like an add-on content type for Plone.org that'll pull information from PyPy, and that'll give us a place to sort of check the curated bit that says this is a popular one. And you're going to talk about the woman who did it right, so I don't have to mention and mispronounce her name. So yeah, there'll be a special content type, and that's cool, very cool. Could you, or actually, Alex, could you just click on the tab that says the next tab over? Yeah, click the arrow. Yeah, this one. So we also got a bunch of nominations that I did not pull from the PyPy list of Plone 5 classifier set add-ons. Some of these are sort of people's favorite 4.3 add-ons that are not really needed in Plone 5, so they're probably worth a special mention on Plone.org. But quite a few of these are add-ons, popular add-ons that need to be upgraded, people, or that need to have their, and we have one on there, I know, or at least one, and so and others that maybe already work but just don't have their classifiers upgraded. So, people, you owners of these popular add-ons, please upgrade them. Let's see, that's all I wanted to say about that. And then, can you click on that one? We also just got a couple of honorable mentions for special cases. A bunch of them were duplicates already that were nominated, but there were some special cases that were mentioned. All right, just a word about the process. So we had some glitches. And I know it seemed strange to do it on paper when here we are, all people that do stuff on the web, but the few people I've talked to about it, and I myself really liked the physical, visual effect of the dots and the gathering of the people around the piece of paper. So, we're kind of happy with that. There's some streamlining that obviously we could do, but we'll try it again next year. And if you've got other opinions, please find us and talk to us more. There you go.
So I just directly continue. We do have had 5 Google Summer of Code students. 4 of them are here and have presented their projects. We did have a 5th, which was Pavihira Casey, or we always call Pavi because I couldn't spell names right. So what was the issue? If we're looking at Plone.org, there is a lot of information on it, but some of the information to get that up to date is some kind of pity and not really presented in a good way. So at the moment, we do have information about the Plone installations and everything on it. We do have a list of add-ons which are managed by hand, but we do not have an add-on listing in total. And we do have at the moment clinches with this page of the Plone security hard fixes that are not listed right. So what we have done is make a Google Summer of Code project improving Plone.org. And there are 2 things on it. The one thing is to make the release and the Plone security process a bit smoother. So that's an empty folder for a closed release folder. I do an update on that. And it will call from Launchpad all Plone releases in and do create content types on the Plone side. And we do have something similar for Plone add-on listing. They could, or it will pull all the information in from PyPy. And that could be done on a regular basis. For debugging, we do it through the web over a special URL. In the end, it will be just a CLI script, but that's very quick, could be done, updated, and presented. And the fun fact on it, we have said we will have a flag to blacklist or block add-ons from the core, so that we don't want to show, but we also have a flag of created image. So those add-ons that we want to present to the end users in a better way. And that's where we will use the list of Sally in the end. And at the moment, you see the page is there. We do have the things for that. There are some additional things. So, for the QuickTime, if I do the complete thing, it collects all the data from PyP. Well, it's working, but we do need someone who has the ability to design how that should be presented in a smart way. So it would be nice if someone steps up that has design experience tomorrow and help us sprint on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next up is Charles. So step on up. After that, it's the dynamic duo of Ramon and Nathan. I don't know if it's two separate talks or can they be combined? Because we have some people that we hear quite a lot of, but we also have two of our Google Summer of Code students that also want to present, so I want to make sure that they also get on. No pressure.
Well, I'm going to go really fast. So I just want to show a pattern that we use for developing Guillotina that may be interesting for somebody else. We are using Docker Compose as we were used to use build out. So what we do, it's really easy. We just, on Guillotina, as you know, we need to have a Postgres, for example, or Elasticsearch or Redis because we use microservice. So what we do is we build this kind of Docker Compose files where we define if we want a Postgres, okay, and the file system, and then we set that the source folder, it's mounted inside the application at the place that you are going to mount in the Docker file, and you also can link to the Postgres. So at the end, what we were using as build out to build the application, it's using Docker Compose, build the component, and then it just downloads all the Python packages, whatever is needed, and then if you want to run, you just need to run Docker Compose, run with service ports and Guillotina, and then you have, and you can easily do PDB, and you're PDBing inside the Docker, so it's really easy. It automatically maps the code that you have, and then you can use Guillotina, for example. No? Well, depending on the network. I think I have problems with the network. So you can see there is 3 documents here. I'm also using this opportunity to explain you that we have a package that's called Guillotina CMS, that it's mapping all the endpoints from the REST API. From Plone, it's not finished. There is a lot of work to do. And it has Pastanaga, Plone Angular demo, and Plone React embedded inside, so you can choose which is your favorite or hated front-end that's being developed in front of Plone right now. All of them uses different APIs, so if you fulfill one, it's not going to work with another one, but you can try to play with that and implement all the endpoints that you need. That's all. Thank you.
Hey, just hold it, guys. All right, I was just going to talk about some cool Guillotina packages because we do have a decent number. Elasticsearch plugin, and the coolest thing about this, I think, is the migration. It does live migrations. If anybody has done Elasticsearch, migrating schemas is the worst. So this does implements a live migration of your schemas. Swagger automatically generates Swagger and serves your Swagger UI. Store your files in S3, or you can store your files in G-Cloud. And we have some metrics applications one for SATSD, one for Prometheus, and there's a mailer plugin, and there's an application to store users and groups in the database, and there's a kitchen sink demo, or you can, or to Docker Compose with Postgres and everything, and Elasticsearch and everything that pulls in some nice plugins. And there's some kind of experimental or not so much supported packages. The CMS one that Ramon just talked about, PG catalog, so the serialization of JSON and PostgreSQL, we put it in a JSON field, so you can, it does querying on that JSON field and creates all the JSON indexes, and it's not completely implemented. There's some indexes that it doesn't have support for because it gets a little wonky with the JSON stuff, but it's interesting. Group cache is a Golang package that's really cool, and it was an experimental look at integrating Golang into Python. If you're just interested, it's kind of neat. And that is it.
All right, second time.
So, Charles, and after that, it's going to be Plone 2020 as a name, so that's probably Philip, who always refuses to put his name. And after that, it will be Rule, and after that, it will be O'Shane and Mikko.
Okay, how do I full screen? How do I full screen? There's still bits. That's it? All right. Thank you. All right. Hey, everyone. My name is Charles Beebe, and I work for an American company called B Studios. We're a small consulting shop. I'm a full-stack dev, and I'm going to talk to you about inclusion, and in particular why it is very important. Obviously, diversity is as well, but there is no point in hiring people if they don't feel like they're welcome at your company. So the first thing I wanted to do was thank all of you. This is my first PloneConf, and it is definitely true what everyone says. You have a really awesome community. So go ahead and give yourself a round of applause there. Thank you. I've certainly never felt like I could get up in front of a group after only the first time meeting all of them and talk to them. So thank you for that. So first thing I want to do is going to sound kind of cheesy, but please just bear with me. I like to ask everyone to close their eyes and imagine their workplace. And then in this context, I want you to think about whether or not you would be a minority in terms of ethnicity or your religion, your race, sex, gender identity, sexuality, anything that you can think of. And then if that is the case, again, please everyone keep your eyes closed to respect everyone's privacy. But if you could just give me a little hand raise, just want to get a feel for how much of the audience this applies to. Cool. All right, and then go ahead and put your hands down, and everyone open your eyes. So probably about 20% of the room raise their hand for who knows what. But one of the things that anyone who raised their hand can experience is a phenomenon that social scientists call covering. And what covering means is that if you are part of a potentially stigmatized group, then oftentimes you will choose to try to remove the focus from that part of your identity, even when there are people who you have come out to in whatever facet. So research in the US has shown that this can have a substantial impact, according to self-reporting, for about 60 to 70% of the people who identify in this way. So obviously, it is the right thing to do to be open and inclusive because you want everyone on your team to feel like they're a part of the team, but there are actual economic implications for not doing a good job of this. So here's a graph or a visualization on the left-hand side. You see that in the US, the least stigmatized group would be like cishet straight white men. research shows that about 45% of them choose to cover in some way at some point, which might be surprising, but that's kind of like the baseline for this behavior. Whereas the most stigmatized group chooses to cover about 85% of the time. So above baseline, you're getting about 40%. So if you think about like loss in productivity and team cohesion, if you do a bad job of this, you are leaving money on the table that you are paying people. So that's not good. But, broken emoji, I want to talk to you about ways of being good at this. So I work for a small company, a really awesome company, and this emoji is supposed to be two men holding hands, because I just wanted to give you a couple of stories about how my company does a really good job of making our space inclusive. So shortly after I started working at V, I got engaged, and then we all went on a company trip after that, and I wasn't out to everyone at the company, but someone caught wind of the fact that I had gotten engaged, and at a company dinner they surprised us with, you know, the waiters brought out a cake and everyone sang a cheesy song, and even though I'd only been there for a couple of months, it really just made me feel like this is a place where I belonged and I could do good work. So you don't have to do something complicated or amazing. It's about showing people that you care in a really authentic way, sometimes a really cheesy way. And then the other thing that I think we do a really good job of is, as you probably know, the U.S. is a majority Christian country. So as an atheist, around the holidays, even though a lot of things are closed, I might not really find that a priority. One of the things our company does is we have winter days off. You get days that the company might normally close, like for the week of Christmas, say. Some companies do that. We just say, take 5 days sometime between the beginning of December and the end of January, do whatever. So this past year, my husband and I went to Harry Potter World in January, because why not? So those are just a couple of ideas, and the advice I have for any of you, 80% of the allies in the room, is to just get caught trying. Thank you.
So from a user experience perspective, Plone 5.1 master, small changes, works fine on Zope 4. So, Plone 2020, this is not about the carrot. It's about the back end. The back end is not the stick, don't like. It's still great. So in Brazil, Paul Everett told me, he pulled me behind a corner and said, you're dragging the dead body of Zope. He wasn't talking about me, obviously. And everyone said, oh, by the way, what? 2020, Python 2.7 will die, and so will we. We thought, yeah, okay, let's check if the body of Zope is actually dead, and we put on our gear and went down the rabbit hole, and we found that it's actually not that dead, as you may have heard from Hanno's excellent talk today. So we started working on that, and while we did that, the usual things happen when he's so let's just sum up the back-end story about Plone 2020. We're very quickly getting to a position where we can have a Plone release that has Zope 4 running on Python 2.7, and we'll probably call the Plone 5.2. That's definitely not my decision how to do that, but it's what we discussed at least yesterday. And going from there, we will remove archetypes and that server, which will still be the default in the 5.2 with Zope 4. And that means the default will run on Whiskey and only Whiskey, unless someone wants to port that server to Python 3. Please don't. Which version that will be, I don't know. Let's see. There's a couple of to-dos. Fixing tests. David did an excellent job. He basically spent the whole conference fixing the tests that I broke by pulling in CMF master. Sorry for that, but I think we really need it. We need to write an upgrade guide for developers, upgrade steps for the database itself. We need to then port CMF to Python 3 and then Plone to Python 3, and we'll start working on that during the sprint. So I'd love a lot of people to join, and especially if you have a slight idea of what we're doing there, because we need help there. And for the fun part, we can actually remove archetypes then, because we're not porting archetypes to Python 3, over my dead body. So there's Jens already announced the sprint in Innsbruck. It's by the end of January. The date, I forgot the date, but it's going to be online. Grok will probably also be ported to Python 3. Not a huge fan, but still awesome. They're going to do that, and there's going to be sprints. So we will combine the shared pain of discussing the differences between bytes and Unicode, and that's about it. And I'm really, really happy that so many people put so much time into that, because when we were in Brazil, it felt undoable, and people said, "Oh, it's much easier to just rewrite everything." But we had a long discussion. Said we have so many long-running projects and such a long community. We can, yes, probably do a rewrite, but we will lose ourselves and a lot of ourselves on the way. So we needed these two roads, have Zob 4, Plone on Python 3, and at the same time experiment like you guys at Guillotina do, these amazing experiments to go in other directions, and there will be a bright future there. Thank you.
I want to demo Plone for you guys. So what you can do is you can log in, if shit works. Of course it doesn't work right now. Ah, man. There we go. And then you can navigate to folders, and you can navigate to documents, and you can view histories. Let's see if I can get to them. And then you can view some changes, because I renamed it. If you can go to folders and you can add new documents. And you can do stuff like state transitions. So if you take a document, it's already published, you can send it back. And what you also can do is you can go to the site setup and try to do some stuff. What you see here is bits of Pasinaga already in there. It's not really okay. And this is the Plone React front end using the semantic UI, running on the Plone REST API. And we got some stuff already in there, so most of the forms already work, and you can see some of the stuff already there. We got some of the control panels, we got history, we got display menus, we got for most of the stuff. And stuff like that we already have. So you can have a folder, and you can rename it, and then save it, and it should be persistent. There we go. And we're finally, there we go. And we got some folder contents. You should do drag and drop. This is all master stuff, so if you want to try it out, it will probably break of some stuff, and I'm going to be working on this tomorrow as well during the sprint. So this is some new stuff, and we'll see what's happening. Thank you very much.
Next up is O'Shane.
Okay. Good day. Well, evening everyone. I'm Oshane Bailey, Google Summer of Code student. What I did is to improve the Plone team editor. So all of the credentials, everything is on gsoc.asuba.com. You can check it out yourself, try it out, and so forth. So I'm going to just demo to you what I've improved and done over the course of the summer. Alright, I changed a bit of the layout of the Plone team editor, like adding groups, button groups for... Okay, sorry, mouse not working with the surface. Adding button groups for like file menu, the edit menu, and the find menu. If you notice, there's basically shortcut keys to create new files now. So in this case, it's Alt N. You can just type in the name, click add, and it's added. If you notice as well, there's also a Rapido Store button where you can actually import Rapido apps from other teams that you have. If the folder is not, the Rapido folder is not there, it will automatically create the folder and import your application. Click yes to install, set OK, refresh, the Rapido folder is there now with your application. And you can import as much as you want. In addition, if you right click on any file or folder, you notice that there's a contextual menu there, so you can move, create new files directly from the file tree, or rename it, or anything you want. Then there's another option, which is you can find a file by its name or find text within files. It will directly take you to basically the file and the right number. So for example, if I type in beef, it shows all of the results. Click on line 28, it opens the file and shows you exactly where that text is. Alright, another thing I added is basically moving around files within folders and files outside of folders. None of this the previous Plone team editor could do before. So basically, drag and drop, it's basically all there. The direction I want to take with the Plone team editor is to have a Rapido external store where you can have shareable Rapido app with the community that can be downloaded and installed all inside of the Plone team editor. So that's the direction I'm going to take, and in addition, I want to make it more of an full-fledged IDE, but not as powerful as C9 or coding, but it's a sense of giving team editors, designers, and so forth the comfortability of using the Plone team editor without any hassle. Because David and I, back in the past, usually create teams, whether by package or simple copy and paste code inside of our local team editor. Okay, thank you. Local text editor or IDE, and then paste it inside of the Plone team editor. So that's basically it.
Thank you very much. And yeah, sorry for the bad quality of the beamer. I looked over his shoulder. It looks amazing on the real screen. The beamer was it's the connectors are. Next up is Mikko.
Hooray. Okay, so yeah, hi, I'm Mikko and I was also one of the summer code students and gonna give a quick rundown of my project. So my project was about improving the list customization using Mosaic. My main mentor was Dylan J, whose the project proposal was based on his idea, and the issue we were tackling was basically that if you have a list, let's say list of events in your page, and you want to edit how the list layout looks, or you want to edit which fields are shown, do you show the start date or end date, and to do that you have to basically modify the template, and that for a lot of the users is too technical, so we want to do something that doesn't require you to write TAL or anything like that, and we started solving this with Mosaic. The first thing we did was add the ability to have inline tiles, which basically means that you have tiles inside tiles. It's better if I show you, so here's a quick video how it works. Here you have a page, you add a new rich text tile, you can add these only to rich text tiles, these inline tiles, and you start tracking tiles. When you hover them over the rich text tile, it highlights the rich text tile, showing that now you're dropping inside it. Here we add the title and description tile inside it, and then you can use the, it's TinyMC, so you can use the TinyMC formatting tools, so you can add some text there. You can drag the tiles away from the rich text tile also, and you can delete them from the tile. And while this was also done so that we could do the list customization thing, but it also helped using the Mosaic, because Mosaic is still bound to the grid. All the tiles are inside grid, so with the inline tiles you are allowed a bit more freedom on how you want to create the layout of your page. And also, if you notice here, the title, when I drag it in, it changes because these are now rendered in span, so they are truly inline to allow you actual freedom. And I use the aligning here to align the text in the middle, but you can also change the font for these tiles and so on. And while they are in the rich text style, they use the TinyMC's non-editable plugin to make it sure that you can drag them around there. You could take this one there and drag it next to the description tile and whatever you want to do. And once we had that thing done, we started doing the list customization, and we started it by modifying the existing content listing tile that is found on the standard tiles package. And here's a quick demo of that. Here we have this is by the way, this is from a older version of my project, so it has some bugs that aren't present in the final product. So here we have this is a list of the basic news site, and 2 news items are shown on this list, and it has a title, description, and the lead image. And this is the default layout for it. And here we see that on the top part of it there is now a extra part. This is a TinyMC editor. It's basically like a rich text tile that is added on top of the content listing, and as you can see, it has the placeholder for lead image, it has the news tile, it has the description tile, and these can be removed. Once you remove it, it updates the list below with the preview. You can write there and it adds the text to the list below, and you can add the lead image back by just taking it from the menu and dragging it there. So what actually is happening there, we aren't adding any more tiles to the list. These aren't actually tiles, but the tiles in this editing field, they are tiles, and once you edit the TinyMC here, it creates a tile template for the list items based on the tiles, and then uses. Yeah. So this is basically tile, much like in the old content listing tile. And we also, because you can add every type of field for example, if you're on front page and you want to add a start date to your list of events, the Mosaic editor doesn't allow you that, so we created this what we call field style, which allows you to add every type of field that are present in the page's registry metadata. Thank you, and here is a picture of a dog as a news anchor.
Okay, that concludes the lightning talks. Victor, do you want to come up on stage, or? So, yeah, you want to do it. I mean, it's been like an Olympic marathon organizing this conference.
Yeah. Here I have the torch, like the torch of the Olympic Games, and we would like to make this choreography. So please, I would like to join me in the stage, and I will present to you the next organizer for the Plone conference for 2018. Please, Manabu, come to the stage. Please receive the torch.
Okay, thank you very much for introducing for me. So next PyCon is Tokyo. Thank you very much. So, but a bit far. It means 14 and 5 minutes from Barcelona and Tokyo. Tokyo is central Japan. Yes. So our company's venue is the south of Tokyo. So, but Tokyo doesn't. I'm sorry. But this area, Tokyo Bay side. This area is Tokyo Bay. Is it okay? Okay, and we do organize the conference because 2 years ago we have Plone Symposium Tokyo 2015. 3 keynotes and 70 attendees. And I'm board chair of PyCon JP. So every year the PyCon JP is very, very bigger. So this year the 700 people attendees. Next year I think 1,000 people. So, and FAQ Tokyo, we use almost Japanese, so English is okay or no, and expensive and safety. English is almost okay, expensive, not expensive, and safety because Coca-Cola, 120 euro, and McDonald's, 5 euros. And hotel, business hotel, only 54 euros. But a bit expensive. Taxi is bit things. So, but don't need the Tokyo is the train is a very useful and bus. And this is Narita Airport. Tokyo has two big airports. Narita is has power. Haneda is a very near our venue. And expensive sushi. So we have around cheaper sushi. We eat. So and safety because 2020 we have Olympic and Paralympic. So see you next year in Tokyo. So 1st November. Thank you very much.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, goodbye. So, well, I just wanted to put the slide of the Plone conference. So we have something here that it's not just blue. It's been really a pleasure organizing this conference. Either me and Victor have been working hard. He has been working much harder than me, can say that. And we are really happy about all the feedback we got from all of you. I know that the party was amazing. And I really like that we could open to all the other communities, either the Python community and the front-end community. A lot of people who are not old folk friends, that we all see each other's faces year by year. We saw some new faces, some Python faces, some JavaScript faces, and I'm really glad that we could accomplish this goal to open a bit, and I really hope that the Plone community continues this path, opening the other sub-communities on Python, Guillotina, Pyramid, wherever, and also front-end technologies, no matter what. So I really want to say thank you to all of you to come here to enjoy. I know that it was a bit difficult for the safety because people saying, oh, maybe we are going to go to jail, no, if we are in Catalonia. So you see, nothing is happening here. We are really happy about organizing this thing. And I really want to say thank you to all of you. So really thank you.
Thank you. Now it's time. I really want to spend some time to thank to the people that made the conference possible. And I really want to do that by, please join Ramon and me in the stage right now and to proper acknowledge them. I want to start by with my Agatha, my beautiful wife here, and thanks for all the work, for support, and for beating me. I'll continue with Timo, please, because he allowed me to spend an insane amount of hours into the conference. Thank you. Albert, please. Without him, we won't have this such beautiful logo and nor any design or anything, so please. Kim, please join me as well. Thank you. Thanks for all your support, for advising me, and for everything. And who else? Okay, I want to continue with the sponsors. Thanks to all the sponsors, to the trainers, also to the keynoters, the speakers, the people that was in the backstaffing party. Thank you. And also the Plone conference team meeting that we were having from 1 month from now. Sorry, before the conference, to Kim, Sally, Paul, Eric, Mikkel, to all the volunteers and the timekeepers, also the video recording team, Miguel, Nuria, Alex, thanks to all of you for joining us, really. We had such a great time, and it's been for sure one of our lifetime experience, at least for me. I don't know, from you, I'm sure of it. And
one-time life experience.
Exactly. And that's it. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us, and hope to see you soon in Plone World. Thank you.
That's all, folks.
There is a sprints, don't forget the sprints, but for the Plone conference, the conference days, it's done. Have a wonderful day in Barcelona, enjoy a lot. And tomorrow, if you want to go to the demonstration, it's going to be amazing at 5 p.m.